Hi, my name is Alexis Baldeck, and I'm going to be doing a review of The Awakening by Kate Chopin. The story begins with the main character, Edna Pontlier. She is at Grand Isle on a summer vacation with her husband and children. There she meets her future lover, Robert, and there she comes to many self-realizations about her life. My thesis for The Awakening is it is a feminist novel because Edna's journey is about her becoming an independent woman, and her suicide is a triumph over the restraints of stifling 19th century gender roles. Critic Peter Ramis also asserts that Edna viewed her own suicide as an escape from patriarchal oppression. Her epiphanies at Grand Isle are numerous and include she recognizes her own desire for Robert, her future lover, and she watches her friend Mrs. Reyes play on the piano. This awakens in her a desire to become an artist of her own. The very passions themselves were aroused within her soul. It's from Kate Chopin, page 554. She learns on her own how to swim, which is a large accomplishment because it shows that she does not need any male help to do this. And the next part is when she returns to her home in New Orleans and she starts rebelling against the social norms of the 19th century. For example, she doesn't wait around at the house for callers like is expected of her. She goes out simply because she felt like going out. This is a quote from Kate Chopin on page 574 by Edna. And also while in New Orleans, she continues on her journey to become an artist. Also, she realizes that she must become physically and financially independent of her husband. She moves into her own house, takes only what possessions are hers, and aspires to support herself through her inheritance and selling her art, even though her husband will view her as demented, no doubt, which is her own opinion, expressed on page 597 of Kate Chopin's story. Critic Susan D. Green claims that Edna feels like she must do this in order to become her own person. The next step in Edna's life is when Robert leaves her. He leaves her because he loves her, and he says this in his goodbye note, saying, "Goodbye because I love you." In short, they realize they can never be together under these 19th century social demands of women without Edna's self as a person being completely destroyed, and her relationship with society and her husband and her children being ruined forever. The next step is her realization of this and her suicide. Edna returns to the place of her revelations to commit suicide, which is Grand Isle, and more importantly, to the ocean. She says she will never give herself up for her children, society, or her husband. She says this multiple times throughout the novel, and she is consciously thinking of this while she is committing suicide and wading deeper and deeper into the ocean. Her suicide is triumphant because she kills herself, thus never having to give herself up to those she deemed unentitled to have her. Ultimately, Edna strove toward independence throughout the entire story. Critic Emily Toth agrees and asserts that The Awakening covers all areas of feminism, including the physical, psychological, sociological, and economic spheres. Suicide was a successful escape of 19th century patriarchal pressures on a female, and Edna successfully accomplished this.